What is up, everybody? TriforceCaboose here. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. If you can hear my voice right now, then you have stumbled into another episode of Go Figure. This is my part of the internet where I am your host, and I take you through all things action figures, statues, bust, or anything of the sort. But I won't run my mouth too long. If you want to catch me on any other part of the internet, all the links to my socials are down below. But without me running my mouth, let's get right into today's video. But I hope to see you around, hope you're doing well, and look forward to chatting with you soon. Be safe and be good people, my friends. What is up, guys? TriforceCaboose here. Hope everybody is doing well today. And on today's episode of Go Figure, we are going to be taking a look at the WWE Elite Collection 2-pack Monday Nitro themed Bret the Hitman Hart and Bill Goldberg. I am very, very happy to have this in my collection. I am a huge professional wrestling fan. You guys obviously know that. But when I first got into wrestling growing up, I got into World Championship Wrestling. So I was much more familiar with, the Stings, the Goldbergs, at the time, the Bret Harts, as opposed to some of the WWE wrestlers, which I would get into shortly thereafter. But when I first started watching wrestling, guys like Goldberg and Sting and DDP were wrestling to me, and I love it very much. So I'm very happy to have this Nitro 90s throwback 2-pack of Goldberg and Bret Hart. I actually don't own either of these in the elite scale. As many wrestling figures as I have, I've never got around to picking up any of Goldberg's figures since coming back. I've never picked up any of the Bret Harts, and I'm very happy to have both of them in the collection. Let's go ahead and pop the whole package off the stand and take a closer look at what's going on with this magnificent Nitro themed packaging. Yeah, guys, so starting up here, you can see inside the window box, you do have your Bret Hart with his interchangeable hands. Up top left, you do have his sunglasses. You have, honestly, one of the, aside from the figures, this right here was one of the driving factors for me to actually pick this up. The WCW World Championship Wrestling United States Heavyweight Wrestling Championship design. I said all the words that are on the belt, but it's their U.S. title. Their U.S. title design is one of my favorite belt designs, and I dearly miss it, especially opposed to the U.S. title that we had for a long time, and even the current WWE U.S. title. I don't feel like any of them have that kind of look of being prestigious or anything like that, as opposed to the actual WCW United States Championship. Because if you look at this belt compared to the other two, to me it's a definitive winner. It's a winner by a mile. Here in the middle, you do have the steel plate. Bret Hart used this famously to fend off Goldberg. Whenever Goldberg went for a spear, Bret had on a steel plate wrapped around his body, so when Goldberg hit it, it knocked Goldberg out cold, and there was this big reveal. I think that's such an excellent use of an accessory that we just don't have. That's such an interesting accessory, and I lost my mind when I found out that was on there. Here you do have a WCW Monday Night Nitro shirt, which is just, I'm glad it's soft goods. I love soft good shirts. You guys know that. This whole thing has me wilding out. You see in the background there, the WCW logo in the background. Here you have a very 90s classic Goldberg attire, just the actual wrestling trunks. Very basic. You have the screaming head sculpt and a very stoic, almost kind of like smirk. Not even smirk. I don't even know what you call that. Honestly, he looks kind of confused. It's kind of a confused head sculpt. Like he's kind of like you insulted him, but he didn't really get the joke, and he's just like staring into your soul. That's what I get from that. Then you get the interchangeable hands. I assume, yeah, the cuffs, the little black pieces on the wrist here are going to be molded separately. So yeah, I'm upset Bret doesn't have a separate head scan. Just looking at it, I don't think this is going to be my favorite Bret head sculpt, and I'm going to have to buy another one to do some swaps with. But I mean, overall, Bret does have the hair that hangs down on his face. A lot of his figures are reflected in that. On the top here, you have more Nitro fire. You have the Mattel logo, WWE Spartan Varnish. You have to be 8 years plus to have this. Bret the Hitman Hart, Goldberg. Surprised I didn't add Bill Goldberg there, but whatever. Legal stuff on the bottom. Picture of Bret on this side. Picture of Goldberg on this side. And here you have the tail of the tape, where they're from, their weight, the height, the finisher, and I'll leave it here in case you guys want to pause it and do the little read up here. So yeah, I am dying to get these out of the packaging. So I'm going to shut up and we'll put them both on the stand and take a look at them fresh out of the packaging. We'll probably leave the belt on Bret and slap the shirt on Goldberg. And here we have them out of the packaging and onto the stand. And I can honestly, getting these figures out of the package and actually getting them to stand on the stand, while challenging at times, has really just revealed to me how great these two figures are. Like, not that it's some big secret or anything, but just getting them out of the package and taking a second to feel them in my hand, it really does give you a very true to life WCW feel to these action figures. They are very 90s and early 2000s, like that turn of the century-esque. It is very much that nostalgia. The head sculpts are are immaculate. The belt sculpting is immaculate. Like, it really does kind of bring that nostalgia of Monday Night Nitro right into your collection, and I love that so much. And I've seen that for a few other figures, Sting, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, some of those figures that really capture that like 90s WCW era. But I feel like this is probably my favorite set, maybe the defining moment Sting figure with the Starrcade attire. But I honest to God adore this set. I love the detail, I love the paint applications. I will go over a few of the issues with paint here in a second, but honestly, just as an overall thought, without spending too much time posing the figures or anything like that, this is absolutely worth the money. I picked this up at Ringside Collectibles on Memorial Day sale for like 30 bucks, I think, and I do not regret it at all. And I'm ready to get these boys off the stand and into the hand. We'll start up with old Billy Goldberg and move our way to old Bret Hart. So let's go ahead and pop them off the stand and into the hand. So starting with the accessories here, outside of what is currently attached to Goldberg, you do have the more open choke slamming-esque hands as opposed to the basic like gripping hands. They're your traditional like Undertaker style, like MMA glove, open palm hand, things like that. I really do like it though. I like that they did give us some options with Goldberg, because for the base, you know, like I say, the cuffs here are molded, so that'll just be fine whenever you switch the hands out. I do like that these hands are gripping hands. You guys know how I feel every figure should come with gripping hands. And then you have the alternative head sculpt, which, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of this head sculpt. I mean, I guess it looks enough like Goldberg, but like I guess there is a likeness there. This almost looks like a Paul Elrig head sculpt in some ways, in some lightings to me. The screaming head sculpt is 100% Bill Goldberg, but I don't know, something about this head sculpt doesn't quite hit the mark with me, but it is passable. I haven't actually switched these head sculpts out. I'm about to have to heat this head sculpt up. I tried to pop it off, but yeah, I'm scared I'm going to bust that. So look at that gap. Who needs a thigh gap when you got that neck gap? But yeah, give me 1 second. Let me heat this boy up and we will go ahead and switch the head sculpts. So after a quick hit and run with the heat gun, we have the other head sculpt on, and I don't know, I guess it looks better being on him, but there's still something about this head sculpt that just does not feel like Goldberg to me. I don't know what it is, especially compared to how great the screaming head sculpt does to, like, god dang, that boy got fleshy bits in the back of his throat. What the dear god. But yeah, I don't know, comparing it, I don't like this head sculpt. I think that's my general consensus. Is it just me? Guys, sound off in the comments. Does this head sculpt actually look like Goldberg? I think I'm only really ever going to have him with this head sculpt, but I'm just not a big fan of this. Something about it just does not share the likeness, because I don't feel like it looks like him, and I just don't want that to be me. You know what? But yeah, guys, going into it, again, the Nitro shirt, soft goods, which you guys know I very much do appreciate having soft goods as opposed to vinyl plastic goods. Getting it into Goldberg, I feel like it is absolutely a phenomenal Goldberg figure. Goldberg was a freak of nature in the 90s, and I feel like this figure captures it very, very well. All of my joints are very tight. There is zero paint discrepancies on Goldberg. Like I say, even if you come into the head here, everything from the teeth to the back of the mouth, everything is modeled very well. Everything is painted very well. The sculpting's excellent. This captures Goldberg's likeness to a T. If I had any complaints with this head sculpt, it would be, I feel like maybe the mustache portion is a little too dark. Looking at it through the camera, it feels like it fits the beard and everything, but in person, the mustache is almost like a separate entity. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me, and I don't quite know what it is. But that's literally the smallest of nitpicks. Chest hair painted on, the classic Goldberg tattoo that he would be later known for. This is 90s Goldberg, so you don't have the skull tattooed under the arm there. But while we're taking a look at it here, we can go ahead and go through the upper body articulation here, which will have Goldberg looking that far up. That is not very pretty though, so you're going to want to keep him looking down some. He does have some of the issues that some Mattel figures have where the head sculpt just sits a little weird, but it is no big deal. He will look that far back, that far forward. Arm will go out that far. Bicep swivel 360. Arm can go all the way around. This is a single jointed elbow, which, especially with the elbow pad on, that is not great range of motion. I am ready for the elites to get their double jointed elbows. As of when I am filming this, which is the 26th of May, still no double jointed elbows in the elites. So it is what it is though. Wrist swivel all the way. Hinge will take you back that far, down that far. You do get a 360 at the waist. Let me put this bicep correctly. Stop folding your bicep, Goldberg. Don't look at me like that. Boy, look away. All right, and then for the kicks, oh God, he's looking again. He will kick up that far. He will kick back just a smidge. You do get the double jointed knees with the small knee pads, which I like. His boy ain't going to be kicking his butt anytime soon, but I still think it's an acceptable range of motion. Thigh swivel, 360. This thigh for me is loose. This thigh is fine. This one's just a little bit loose. Boot swivel will take you a full 360. Feet will go down all the way and up all the way. And I guess more of like an, not an ankle rocker. It's more of just the ankle moves slightly. All right, God, you can even see the peg underneath there. Jesus, Goldberg, you got a big old head. I don't mean it bad. I don't mean it bad. And now taking a look at the excellence of execution, Bret Hart. Again, I am not the biggest fan of the hair in this head sculpt hanging down. I don't like, same thing with like Drew McIntyre or what AEW did with Pac, where they had the hair hanging down in their face. I do think there always needs to be an alt head sculpt that doesn't have that. This one does not have a head sculpt for that, so I will be getting another head sculpt for that. But yeah, with his glasses and the heavyweight or the U.S. Heavyweight Championship on, it looks great. I like the color pink they use. This is not the pink they use for all the Bret Harts. It's one of the things that actually stood out to me about this Bret Hart figure is the pink is a different color than, it's more of like a warm reddish pink than what a lot of Bret Hart figures have. And I really like it. I actually really love this color scheme. I am having an issue with my Bret, and you could really see it here where his arms are a different color skin tone than his body. It's not awful in person, and the left arm's not as bad, but the right arm is definitely a different shade. I don't know why that is. I noticed it the second I took it out of the package. And if we are taking his glasses off, as you can see, let me lift his hair up. As you can see, it's an absolutely excellent execution. It is an excellent Bret Hart head sculpt. Taking off the belt, which we will look at in a second here. You do have classic Hitman logo. My paint apps are really sloppy through here. I hope camera's picking it up. There's a lot of black overlaying into the pink. I don't really know why that's the case. It's not that way on the back. The back came through perfectly, but the top up here is visually muddled. I could tell it the second I opened the package and saw it through the window box that I was like, oh, well, I might have to try to go back in and clean that up a little later on. Going down, you have the pink knee pads, Hitman wording, Hitman logo on the little booty, the booty of execution. Classic Bret boots, which I absolutely adore. I mean, I don't have any real qualms with this figure. I'm super excited too. You do have like the open palm hands for the entrance, and then you do get an alt set of gripping hands, so that solves my issue there. I haven't tried this yet, but we'll go ahead and take a look here at this metal plate. There are a few different attachment options. You got all the sculpting and trademark yada yada in there. So yeah, let's try to put this on for the first time. So it uses the same little peg holes like they do for their title belts. They're just incredibly thin, holy God. So you have to pull it down low around Bret if you want it on. I don't think this would go around like big built wrestlers at all. And I just undid this. Oh, frick. Alright. So yeah, did that come undone? Yeah, it did. Whatever. Okay, let's pretend that Triforce actually got it hooked and he's not an idiot. But yeah, as you see, you can get the metal plate there. Goldberg runs into it, knocks him clean out. Dramatic recreation here. But yeah, again, this is such an interesting like accessory to get with these figures, and I'm super excited to have it. Now, let's talk about the best accessory. Comes with this whole thing. This beautiful WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. You do have the WCW logo up top, actual bit of color splash with the black around the eagle. I think it's a very, very hefty championship, which I really like. It looks really good posed, you know, on Bret's shoulders, around Bret's waist. It looks really good on Goldberg as well. I think it's just an excellent addition. I'm a sucker for the Mattel belts, and this, like I say, being one of my favorite titles of all time, I am so excited to have this in the collection. Now that we've talked about Bret Hart's accessories and the actual paint applications and the weird arms, the more I'm looking at it, you can tell, guys, is it just me? His arms are super tan compared to his body. It's not as noticeable in person, but on camera, holy God, I'm starting to really just see it. Either way, Bret will look up that far, not very far at all with the hairpiece, but he will look down. Ab crunch will take him that far back, that far forward. Arm will take him out that far. Full 360. Bicep swivel. Again, single jointed elbow. Wrist hinge will take you back that far, forward that far. full 360, hip rotation, leg kicks up, does not really kick back, double jointed knees, 360 there, and the thigh, 360 at the boot, foot will come down that far, foot will come up that far, and again, he's got a little more of a rock into his ankle. Nothing awful. Again, there's some few issues I have with the paint messiness there, the head sculpt, and the weird issues with the arms, but as weird as it's going to sound, I just am a sucker for the pink they used for this Bret Hart attire, and once I get a better head sculpt to put on it, I think this will probably be my favorite Bret Hart figure, even if his arms went to the beach when he obviously did not. Guys, one thing I just happened to think about as I was wrapping up this review was comparing the current Bret Hart to an old WCW Bret Hart, and it really shows you just how far action figures have come when it comes to like capturing the likeness of a superstar, when it comes to like recreating them in figure form. Absolutely ridiculous. I just thought that was wild and wanted to say that. And then when it comes to scale, these are standard elite. Well, when it comes to scale, these are standard elite scales, which means your Bret Hart figure will come in just at the 6.5 inch mark, as well as the 16 centimeter, and Goldberg stands just a bit higher, right below the 7 inch mark and the 18 centimeter mark. So, give me the belt. Boy. No! Give me that belt. It fell on the floor, now no one can have it. God bless America. But yeah, guys, in all honesty, I think that this two set for the Mattel Elite Monday Nitro, Bret Hart and Bill Goldberg, I think it's absolutely worth it. Like I say, I picked it up from Ringside Collectibles on sale for their Memorial Day sale. With the weird paint apps aside, I love these figures. You know, obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of the second Goldberg head sculpt. I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that some of the paint's a little weird, or the fact that Bret has like some different skin tones. But I can tell you, the quality of this set outweighs the cons by an absolute mile. I highly recommend this to anybody who is a Mattel collector, anyone who's a wrestling fan. These are great versions of both of these guys, even if the Goldberg I think is mostly just his entrance greats figure, and I'm not sure if the Bret's mainly a repaint of something else or not, but I love it. I highly recommend it, and getting that WCW United States Championship is also just another phenomenal add to the collection. But yeah, guys, above everything else, I just want you to know my thoughts on the figures, because, you know, I don't like to rate things on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd much rather just tell you my thoughts on it to help in your purchase making process. But yeah, guys, if you can find this, I don't remember exactly what it retails for. Maybe it's 40, I think, 40 or 50. Honestly, right on up to the $40 mark, I'd say this is an excellent buy. I mean, if you think about it, Mattel figures, just a single elite range between the $15 to $20 range normally retail. Two figures for anywhere you around that price. These are an excellent set of figures. Excellent choice of accessories, even if the second Bill Goldberg head sculpt just isn't doing it for me. But guys, I highly recommend this. I love this 2-pack of Elites, and I am so happy that I just went ahead and bit the bullet and purchased them, because I am dying to get them up on the shelf. Huge Bret Hart fan, big Goldberg fan, ready to just get it in there. WCW in the 90s was like lightning in a bottle. I feel bad for people that didn't experience the true wrestling like boom of the 90s, because I came in at the tail end of it, but it was truly something magical, and this piece does an excellent job at recapturing that kind of electricity. You know, I review a lot of Marvel Legend figures, I review a lot of figures. Wrestling figures are a passion of mine because professional wrestling is a passion of mine, and I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, if you're a fan of WCW, it is definitely worth picking up. I love these figures to the moon and back. But guys, that about does it for you here. Or for you here. It about does it for us at our time here, because I'm wrapping up the review. But that being said, guys, if you don't take anything away aside from the information regarding the figure, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sending you lots of love, and I want you to take a second to appreciate yourself. And remember, no matter what's going on in life, what kind of frustration, anxiety, depression, whatever's going on, whether you're having a good time, a bad time, whether you're at the top of the mountain or the bottom of the valley, remember you are loved. Remember you have worth and you are valid, and don't let anything take that away from you, my friends. I love you guys, and until we meet up on the tracks for our next crazy, wacky, wonky, and wild figure review, the pleasure has been all mine. But this caboose is loose and leaving the station. Be safe and be good people, my friends. I'm surprised they stayed up that long. On this day